Hey y'all, welcome to Stivers Homestead. I'm Zach.
I'm Jen.
I just hit record. She has no idea that it's
I
Zach.
almost stabbed you with this.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So we are in the process of doing a lot of things with a lot of our milk. It's a big question that we get from a lot of people because we have 2 goats that we currently milk and a milking cow. So we have milk running out of our ears. I thought it would be good to really show you the 4 different things that we do with our milk.
Yep.
First on the list, what are you doing over here, babe?
Right now we are separating the cream. This is the cream separator. It's a machine. You don't have to have that. You can just scoop it off the top. This makes our lives a lot easier when we have so much milk. So this separates the cream from the skim. We give this to our animals, especially the pig, because it's really good for them. It fattens them up and it fattens up the dogs too. And then we save all of our cream and we make butter from it so that we have enough butter fresh daily, and then I freeze it so that later on in the year, if we're out of lard from our pigs, then we have butter we can get from the freezer.
And then of course the buttermilk that also comes from making the butter.
Pretty much all the buttermilk goes to waffles.
Yeah.
So once a week is waffle day, and I just make a ton of waffles and we pig out on waffles.
So obviously you can do this with any kind of milk that creates a cream. We do this strictly for our cow's milk. The cow, we have a much thicker cream line, as you would expect. Goats do get pretty good cream, but nothing that would take into the requirement of this machine. So we have
another purpose for our goat's milk.
Exactly. So with our goat's milk, this is what we do with it. For the most part, 99% of the time, this is what we do with it. So we are freezing them out into these little bitty baggies.
9-ounce portions.
9-ounce portions, and the reason for that is because each mold of soap is 9 ounces of goat's milk. So this makes it easier for us when us and mom are making goat's milk soap that she puts in our Etsy store. It's already measured out, so all we have to do is just crunch it up, put it in the bowl, and then we can start sprinkling a lot right on top of it. Just makes that part a little bit faster, and it allows us to have that long-term storage. So in those times when our goats are dried up, we can still provide goat's milk. So. Oh, and a side note, the little babies get some milk too. Y'all like that? All right, we are in my incredibly messy garage, but I came here to show you we have that deep freeze and this stand-up deep freeze. Actually, this was mom. She brought it with her when she moved here, which has been great. That one is full of meat, and this one is starting to get full of meat, but also milk. So all through here, it's goat's milk. We have layers upon layers of goat's milk in here, and now we're gonna add some more into it. And so these are all just future soaps that we have going on. There you go. So this is how much cream we ended up with. I would say, what would you say? It's probably over a gallon, probably, right?
Of cream?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well over a gallon out of probably 4 gallons of milk. So that's pretty good. So now what do we do with that?
I'm going to put it in the fridge with the top on it and let it get really, really cold, probably overnight, and then tomorrow we will start shaking and make butter.
Yeah. All right. Number way 3, or third way, or whatever we're on.
Number 3 way.
Number 3 way. Gosh darn it.
Way number 3.
Wait, number 3. Couldn't get the lid off. We freeze dry. So this is some leftovers goat milk. We normally do cow's milk.
Wow. Look at that.
Lucy. Spilled a little. But so this will actually be the first time we've done goat's milk, but we always have plenty of it. So since we have so much in the freezer, we want to do some long-term storage. Freeze dryer is going to give us that long-term, 25 plus year shelf life, as long as no moisture gets there. Yep. And this is the trickier stuff to get in there. If you're not pre-freezing this stuff in your Harvest Right freeze trays, this is the best way that we've wanted to do it so you don't make a ginormous mess. Pour it in a measuring cup and let your wife do it, and not me. So if she spills it, it's on her. And then once that freeze dryer is done, you get this beautiful powdered milk. And so we would for long-term storage, we're going to keep them in Mylar bags, sell them with oxygen absorbers, and they'll last up to 25 years. So if you're into any kind of prepping or anything like that, having this freeze-dried milk is a huge ordeal. That is great success. That is a thing that you absolutely need down in your pantry for long-term storage. This we have in our glasses because we always like to keep some of it available, easily to access, and so that's why this one's here. But we have a whole big Mylar bag storage from everything that we freeze dry, including milk. And then the next item, you saw us freezing that goat milk to make goat milk soap. So then once it's done, it turns into soap. Smells amazing. So soap isn't one of those things that you necessarily have to have in a prepping situation. However, it is nice to have. It is nice to have an abundance amount of soap available to you so you can be clean and make sure everything is staying clean. So that's something that's nice to have. Right now, however, we are using our soap for selling. We sell it on Etsy for goat milk soap, and it's one of the ways that the farm provides us profit from what we're putting into it, and it's giving back to us kind of thing. So then our last way that we use our milk is our own consumption, fresh. That's all our kids will drink nowadays. They won't drink store-bought milk, which we're very proud of. Yeah. We love that they love goat's milk and cow's milk, both. They do not care which one it is, but that's all that they'll drink. We also share it for animal consumption only. Just so we can share it out with that. Goat milk has a lot of properties in it that really helps a lot of people, you know.
Lots of extra vitamins.
Yes, very much so. So we like to have that for that, and then a lot of people like to use the cow's milk as well to do other things.
Yeah, a lot of people like to make their own butter and then save their buttermilk. He also forgot to mention that anyone who comes to the farm also drinks it as well, and anyone who lives on the farm is not allowed to purchase milk. Yeah, they have to drink.
We told Mom when she moved in, we said, do not go buy milk whatsoever.
Or eggs.
Yeah, because usually at any day we have like 12 gallons of milk available in some form or fashion because we do that. But you know, dairy farming and dairy animals are not the easiest choice. You have to really be committed to a dairy animal. Now, if you have a calf or if you have goat kids, that does make it easier because you can share the responsibilities. But once you wean that animal off, or if you have to sell it or whatever reason, then it's up to you. Like, you are now the baby. You have to take this milk, or the mama can get seriously injured when it comes to having that milk in there with mastitis, milk fever, different stuff like that. So if you are drying them out, you have to do it very precisely and properly that's safe for the animals. So that being said, it's easier to buy meat animals. It is 100% easier to do so. However, we think it's very important to have dairy on your farm. To be actually sustainable, you have to have some kind of dairy animal there.
Yep. And it could take you a long time in your journey to work up to that point, and that is totally fine. It took us probably 5 years to work up to getting dairy goats, and that's okay. And now we know how to do that. And then a year ago, we moved on to the even larger dairy cow. And so we've been doing that for a year along with the goats. And it just takes time. It's definitely not something that you rush into. Do your research beforehand because it's a whole lot more responsibility.
Yes.
Their life is in your hands every single day if they have milk. So you have to be very careful and you have to be very responsible and committed to what you're doing. So do it. We always advise it. I advise to always start with goats. I don't think you should jump into just cows unless you truly know what you're doing.
Right.
Like you've helped somebody else or, mentored with somebody else and you're ready. But I think starting with goats is better because you can handle them easier. Their udders are a whole lot smaller. Milking them is less time consuming and easier than doing a cow because a cow is a full-on huge animal and a huge commitment.
And I will add with goats, they're not all the time in milk. Once they go in milk, they do dry up. It's seasonal with them. So that does give you breaks. If you want a little bit more freedom, goats will give you that freedom. Cows definitely lock you down a little bit more. And that's something to think about too. If you are a big vacationer, if you like to be on the go, it's a lot harder to get a farm hand or a farm keeper, farm sitter that knows how to milk an animal.
Yes.
It's a lot easier to have a farm sitter that's just going to feed and water. So that is something that you need to think about as well before jumping into getting the animal.
Yep.
But with that being said, get the goat.
Yes.
If we keep preaching it, get that goat. Don't have any more excuses. Don't worry about it. Get the goat and you're going to figure it out. There's plenty of videos that we've done and that's all over YouTube. There's a great community that can help you out. So take that plunge and get that dairy on your farm. It's like a peanut. There's like 1,000 uses that you could use with having some milk on your farm that will help you in the long run.
Yep.
All right, y'all. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button.
We love you.
Until the next one.
Bye.
Bye.